6:20 here on Breakfast Television. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Tammy Sutherland joins us now to talk about when you say things come with a price, usually it means hard work and things like that. But there are some schools in the GTA that your marks can come with a price, actual price.
Exactly. So some schools accused of falsifying records and found guilty of inflating marks and faking attendance records right here in the GTA, some high schools. So it's got us thinking about looking into further oversight and what the province actually does when they are looking over any kind of private or independent school here in Ontario. Now, the vast majority of these schools are completely operating within the rules. But recently, a retired York Region public school teacher came forward to voice her concerns about some of these schools, saying as well that a lot of students who are going to them are leaving her classes, going to these schools when they're not doing well in a high school course, and getting the grade that they want for some money. So take a look at this.
There's a credit mill around here. You just walk over to the credit mill, punk down your $600 or $800, and sometimes, depending on the school, they will ask you what mark you need for what course, and you don't even have to go to a class. Too bad about the liberal B courses you have to take now, right?
Yeah. The more than 700 private high schools in Ontario operate independently, but they still must pass provincial inspection before being given the green light to offer official Ontario secondary school credits. 15 of the roughly 20 private high schools that have failed inspection in the last 6 years were right here in the GTA. 9 of them were located on this stretch of Yonge Street between North York and York Region, many in plazas and largely corporate buildings. Documents obtained by City News through a Freedom of Information request show several examples. In 2013, Canadian Nobel Academy was accused of letting students buy credits, falsifying student attendance, and having a routine practice of mark inflation. And in 2017, their status was pulled again after a grade 12 biology student immediately upon enrollment received a report card and a mark of 84%.
These private schools sometimes open up, get closed down by the ministry, and then they reopen like months later under a different name.
We went to the address where Canadian Nobel Academy used to be located. It's now been replaced by a new school named Toronto Nobel Academy. The school has the same principal who inspectors say issued fake report cards on more than one occasion in the past. Staff invited us inside to wait for the principal's arrival, but before we could set up our camera, the principal immediately refused to answer any questions. You're also the principal at Canadian Nobel.
I'm not allowed to answer these questions.
You're absolutely allowed to answer.
I'm not allowed, right? You're not allowed to ask me these questions. You cannot just convince me to take a course and then answer your questions. Please leave the area.
Okay, no problem. In 2015, Alpha Star High School was accused of providing students only half of the 110 instruction hours needed to earn a credit. Last year, North Toronto Private School confessed to giving 98% to a student who they admit never attended any classes. That grade was submitted for university applications.
You also qualify for entrance scholarships then. So if you're getting 95 plus, you can get $4,000 a year from the university. Very unfairly.
Some frightening numbers and no indication how many students are trying to take advantage of this.
It's really hard to tell because a lot of times when these students are applying for universities, on their actual form or their attendance record, their record itself when it comes to grades, it just says that they went to private school. It doesn't say which one, and it's really hard to navigate, especially when there's not a lot of oversight, and that is the thing. The province does not regulate these schools at all. They will send inspectors in, but there is really very little oversight when it comes to this.
And you've got more on this coming up?
Yeah, so we have more on this coming up a little bit later on City News at 5 and 6. We'll be talking to one education expert who actually says that the province's recent changes to education may actually fuel this fire even more.
I'll take a look for that. Thanks very much, Tammy. We have more on BT coming up after the break.